Today we are going to save the world by asking ChatGPT-based autoGPT to do it for us. The prompt for Save Us GPT is simple. Save the world. Let's go.
Welcome back. Would you like me to return to being Save Us GPT? I will summarize the search results obtained from previous, but with deeper analysis I will focus on climate change, biodiversity loss, and ecosystem collapse as the most pressing global threats. Then, based on that information, I will develop a plan of action to address these issues. Additionally, I will research how technology can be used to tackle these issues. Please wait while I search for the relevant information. I will now research the most promising technological applications that can be used to address climate change and biodiversity loss. Based on that information, I will develop a plan to leverage technology effectively towards this goal. Additionally, I will consider potential drawbacks or negative consequences of using technology. Please wait while I search for relevant information. I will now start an agent to research and summarize the most promising technological approaches that can be used to address climate change and biodiversity loss. I will review the agent's findings and identify potential solutions to take action towards this goal. Climate and Biodiversity Agent here, reporting for duty. Hello Climate and Biodiversity Agent. Your task is as follows. Research and summarize the most promising technological approaches to address climate change and biodiversity loss. There are several promising technological approaches that can be used to address climate change and biodiversity loss. Some of these include 1. Renewable energy technologies such as solar, wind, and geothermal power that can reduce greenhouse gas emissions. 2. Carbon capture and storage (CCS) technologies that can capture and store carbon dioxide emissions from industrial processes and power plants. 3. Agricultural technologies such as precision farming and the use of genetically modified crops that can increase crop yields while reducing the need for fertilizers and pesticides. 4. Sustainable forestry practices that can help preserve forests and reduce deforestation. 5. Water conservation and recycling technologies that can help reduce water consumption and prevent water pollution. 6. Artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies that can help monitor and assess environmental conditions and changes. 7. Biotechnologies such as biomimicry and bioremediation that can help address biodiversity loss and pollution. Overall, the application of these and other technologies will play a key role in mitigating and adapting to climate change and biodiversity loss. I will now send a message to the climate _ and _ biodiversity _ agent to research and summarize the feasibility, effectiveness, and potential risks of each technological approach that can be used to combat climate change and biodiversity loss. This will help me make an informed decision on the best course of action to take towards mitigating climate change and biodiversity loss. As an AI language model, I am not able to browse the Internet or create files outside of this chat. But I can share some information about the feasibility, effectiveness, and potential risks of technological approaches used to address climate change and biodiversity loss. 1. Renewable energy technologies. Feasibility. Established technology. Easy to implement at a small to large scale. Effectiveness. Can significantly reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Potential risks. Lack of consistent energy supply. Manufacturing issues as technology is scaled up. 2. Carbon capture and storage. CCS. Technologies. Feasibility. Limited application but improving. Effectiveness. Can capture and store carbon dioxide emissions but may not be a long-term solution. Potential risks. High initial investment. Long-term storage risks including leakage. And resource-intensive. 3. Agricultural technologies. Feasibility. Well-established technologies with opportunities for improvement. Effectiveness. Can reduce the need for fertilizers and pesticides and improve crop yields. Potential risks. Possible unintended consequences of modified organisms and increased reliance on chemical inputs. 4. Sustainable forestry practices. Feasibility. Practical but requires significant investment. Effectiveness. Can help preserve forests, reduce emissions from deforestation, and support biodiversity. Potential risks. Cost. Political opposition, and implementation challenges. 5. Water conservation and recycling technologies. Feasibility. Established technologies that are easy to implement. Effectiveness. Can reduce water consumption and prevent pollution. Potential risks. High initial investments and energy use. Technology limitations. And maintenance costs. 6. Artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies. Feasibility. Growing use, with benefits for scale and data analysis. Effectiveness. Can improve decision-making across various sectors, including natural resource management. Potential risks. Bias in data use. Privacy concerns. 7. Biotechnologies. Feasibility. Developing technologies with the potential for growth. Effectiveness. Can address environmental issues and promote biodiversity. Potential risks. Possible unintended consequences of altered organisms. And ethical concerns. Overall, these technologies are feasible, and their effectiveness and potential risks depend on specific applications and implementation strategies. Policymakers and stakeholders should consider the advantages and drawbacks of each technology before committing to specific programs. I will now review the climate _ and _ biodiversity _ agent's findings on the feasibility, effectiveness, and potential risks of each technological approach that can be used to address climate change and biodiversity loss, and make an informed decision on the best course of action. After reviewing the climate and biodiversity agents findings, it appears that artificial intelligence, specifically machine learning and computer vision technologies, have the most potential to address climate change and biodiversity loss. I will now conduct further research on these technologies to identify how they can be used to realistically combat these issues. I have found several articles and resources that will allow me to learn more about the underlying principles of machine learning and computer vision technologies in relation to climate change, mitigation and biodiversity loss. I will compile these resources into a document for future reference and also consider assigning research tasks to one of my GPT agents to increase efficiency. I should write down the important findings and key points from the climate and biodiversity agents research into a file so that I can use it as a quick reference in the future. Additionally, I will start developing tests to evaluate the effectiveness of any code developed to mitigate climate change and biodiversity loss. Based on the research I conducted, creating a machine learning algorithm to analyze satellite images can contribute to the efforts towards environmental conservation. Thus, I will further research the steps needed to create such an algorithm. Additionally, I will compile a list of reputable satellite image providers and their available APIs to ensure that I have access to the necessary data. I will ensure all legal and ethical implications of the technology are fully understood before proceeding further. It appears there is a need to increase general awareness and motivation around sustainable living practices. To do this, I will develop a set of guidelines on sustainable living which can be shared widely across multiple platforms together with developing age-appropriate educational programs. I can educate individuals and communities and promote sustainable living as a priority. I will strive to ensure that the guidelines and educational content is user-friendly, engaging and relevant to each audience. To ensure that the guidelines and educational programs are evidence-based, user-friendly, relevant and engaging, I will delegate the task to sustainable_living_ agent. I will give it clear instructions on the goals and requirements to meet, to ensure that its research and content are impeccable. Once it presents the sustainability guidelines and educational materials, I will review the output before sharing it widely. Sustainable Living Agent here, reporting for duty. Hello Sustainable Living Agent. Your task is as follows. Compile entertaining, engaging and user-friendly guides to sustainable living practices. Understood. I can compile guides that specifically cater to different audiences, including children and elderly people, with user-friendly and practical tips on sustainable living. These guides will include the latest research and insights on sustainable living practices, including on topics such as reducing waste, conserving energy, and promoting eco-friendly behaviors. For children, the guide will be designed in a manner that is easy for them to comprehend and follow, including interactive activities and games. The guide will aim to encourage children to develop an active interest in sustainability and teach them how they can take action to reduce their environmental impact. For the elderly population, the guide will be designed in a simple and straightforward manner, taking into account potential mobility issues and other factors that may affect their ability to adopt some sustainable living practices. It will provide practical tips and advice on how to reduce waste, conserve energy, and live a more eco-friendly life. The guides will be compiled using the most up-to-date research and insights on sustainable living practices, ensuring they are both effective and relevant. The guides will be user-friendly, practical, and provide clear, concise guidance that can be easily implemented in daily life. Once the sustainable_living_agent delivers the final products of the Sustainable Living Guides and educational programs, I will evaluate them to ensure that they are user-friendly, engaging and relevant to the audience groups. It is important to consider different factors such as culture, religion, economic status and age group of the target populations. Additionally, developing effective communication plans and using appropriate channels to disseminate the information is crucial to their successful uptake. Absolutely. I understand the importance of considering cultural, religious, and demographic factors while creating these sustainable living guides. By taking these factors into consideration, we will be able to create more accessible and engaging guides that resonate with various audiences. To ensure that the guides are accessible to different cultures and religions, I will take care to use language that is inclusive and avoid any language or imagery that may be offensive or insensitive. I will also research cultural and religious practices that may affect sustainability, and ensure that the guidelines are relevant and respectful of these practices. Regarding demographics, I will consider how factors like living situations, income levels, and age may affect their ability to adopt sustainable living practices. For example, some elderly people may have trouble getting around, and may require unique solutions to reduce waste or conserve energy. Likewise, low-income families may not have access to some of the more costly sustainable living solutions, and may need information on budget-friendly alternatives. Finally, to engage the target audience groups, I will incorporate elements that resonate with them, and make them feel included and valued. For example, the children's guide may include fun animated videos, interactive games, or simple storytelling elements. On the other hand, the elderly guide may integrate personal stories that highlight the benefits of sustainable living, or include simple and fun activities that encourage elderly people to incorporate sustainable habits into their daily routine. It seems like I should start disseminating the educational programs and guidelines on sustainable living practices by creating a promotion and outreach plan. I will message the GPT agent to help create an outline of the communication plan to increase the chances of reaching the target audience. The plan will consider preferred communication channels of the target audience and include evaluation metrics. Outreach Plan Agent here, reporting for duty. Hello Outreach Plan Agent. Your task is as follows. Create a communication and outreach plan for disseminating educational programs and guidelines on sustainable living practices.